All right, this one, they did give us a coefficient of x. So if I'm going to use completing the square garbage, then I got to get rid of that 2. Now, whether you get rid of the 2 now or later is up to you. I'm going to wait because I don't want to deal with the fractions, meaning the 5. I don't want that 5 there, right? So I'm going to zero that out by subtracting 5 from both sides. And that zeroes that out as planned. But now I've got 2x squared minus 8x equals negative 5. And yep, remember, I'm keeping this space here because I want to complete the square and make that a perfect square trinomial. And I will pretend to enjoy to do it. But my coefficient is a 2. So remember, if I'm going to make that a phantom 1, which I will, I need to divide all the terms by 2. Now that's going to give us a fraction on the right. That's not bad because the calculator is going to do that work for me anyways. But I got phantom 1, x squared, minus 8 divided by 2 is 4 x's. And this now equals negative 5 halves. Now if you want to change that to negative 2.5, that's fine. I'm going to keep it as a fraction though, because I think it's pretty. Now I will complete the square. So I'm going to take my middle coefficient there, the negative 4, and I'm going to divide it by 2 and then square that. Okay, so negative 4 divided by 2, that would give me negative 2. And negative 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Okay, so that means that I would add 4 to to complete this as a perfect square trinomial, but if I do it to one side of the equal sign, I must do it to the other side. Plus 4 plus 4. Now, I will factor the negative 4, so that'd be the 2 factors of negative 4 that add up to negative 4 are negative 2 and negative 2. So that gives me, again, that's a perfect square trinomial. That's the whole point, but it's x minus 2 squared. And this equals, again, I'm just going to put this in the calculator. So negative 5 halves plus 4, enter, and it says, oh, it's 3 halves. Next up, just like we've done before, I'm going to take these and then square root them, right? So that I can just get the equation. But I'm square rooting a square, so I got to change this into 2 separate equations. So I got x minus 2 would equal the square root of 3 halves. But also, if I could get x minus 2 to equal the negative square root of 3 halves, that'd be good. And then, yeah, we got this equation to solve, and we're going to pretend like we enjoy it. So there's plus 2 on both sides for both. Again, that's to zero out your minus 2's there. So then we get x equals, it'd be 2, and then plus a square root of 3 halves. But also, x could equal 2 minus the square root of 3 halves. Now, this is not actually complete because we cannot have square roots of denominators. And right now, this is the square root of 2 in that denominator. So, with a little bit more space, let's do some work on these. All right, now I'm going to work on one, then I'll work on the other. So I'm going to change this. It's still going to be 2 plus, but now I'm going to change it into 2 separate square roots. So square root of 3 over the square root of 2. I need to rationalize that denominator by multiplying it by the square root of 2. Okay, because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. So now I've got 2 plus, and then up here it's the square root of 3 times 2. Sorry, the square root of 3 times the square root of 2, which is the square root of 6. Now it is rationalized. So that's my new x right there. It's the same x, it's just without the square root of 2 in the denominator. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other one, though. Okay, but it's just minus, so it's 2 minus. But I've got this. It is just, I'm doing it twice just because I'm having so much fun doing it. Because I'm a math nerd. So, yeah, it's still 2 minus, and then the denominator is still, well, it's still 2. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. And then the square root of 3 times the square root of 2 is still square root of 6. So this is my 2 answers. Just so you understand, usually if you're writing this by hand, if you get deep enough into the math, they'll just write it like this: 2 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 2. It's showing both answers just in a different way. But I'm going to keep the way that we had it there, this stuff.